It's a very impressive gateway. It's the gateway into Lincoln Castle. This is the inside of the castle with the court over there. That's the bells of the cathedral telling me I can come in because it's now 10 o'clock. Love it or hate it, but this great monstrosity allows you access up to the wall walks, which they've now opened all of them. There's a lift. Old people, you know. Not young, fit, healthy people like me. Don't think Mr. Brown would be able to make it up there on his own. Yeah, it allows people up here. I think my sister would like it, especially not walking on that slide there. Ooh, it's a bit bouncy for somebody to be walking on. There's the cathedral. Ooh, let's go to the overhanging edge. Would have been a very impressive place this would have done. This has got to be one of the largest castles still in this good state of repair. Massive cathedral. That's the county court building, which is still in use today. In the old prison block building there's the Magna Carta. There is a fragment of one of the Eleanor crosses, which might be just over there. Obviously it doesn't have all the buildings inside that a lot of castles do these days, but it's still impressive for the scale of the outside of it. I came here probably about 20 years ago. They didn't have a lot of these wall walks weren't open. Lincoln did have a town wall. There are still fragmentary remains here and there. water tower there. There's a windmill. As you can see, that would have been quite an impressive place to try and defend. Well, even more impressive if you try to attack it. There's old Queen Victoria. A well down there. Would have been vital in them days to supply you with water. Once upon a time you used to rake up leaves, but now you just blow them everywhere. Over there is one of the two mottes that makes Lincoln almost unique. Lewes is another castle that had two mottes. The other one is over there by the gateway, or on the other side of the gateway. It's quite unusual to have two mottes on a castle. York's got two mottes. Clifford's Tower is the earlier one, and there was a second one built to fight off against rebellions. Lincoln has two gateways, one at the front there and a rear gateway here. There is a little, if you look on the side wall, there is a postern gate, which I think might be down there. It's in the middle of that wall where that building is. It's not that hard to find this castle, to be honest, or get to it, I mean, because you just come in through, you have to go all the way around Lincoln, you come in from the other side, but it's literally, you just come in. There's my nice little car, sitting in that car park over there. There's the outer defences of the gateway. Lincoln Lunatic Asylum. Yeah, we got to go out on a extended walkway. Not very good for people who've got a fear of heights, I should imagine. It's a bit bouncy as well. I don't know what wood this is. Obviously a little man in an office somewhere has done a health and safety review of it. Or one would hope so. I think you can, there's a gap there. I don't know if that might have been the gap for the portcullis. As you can see how steep it is to have got from the bottom to the top. It's a bit too wobbly for an overhang. What a beautiful day as well. It was pouring down with rain the last time I came here. You see what a daunting task that would have been to get from down there up to here. I think it's a bit monstrous looking, that gateway there, but I think the rules is that they have to make sure that it doesn't look like the old stuff, so you get confused between the new and the old. I mean, even as a back gate, that's quite impressive. I mean, once you get there, I mean, it's not that far a drop. You'll certainly injure yourself if you try to jump. Even if you got to there, you'd still have a bit of a struggle to then get up here. I think there were a couple of battles in Lincoln. I know of one between Stephen and Matilda. And as you can see, the mott. One of the earliest parts of the castle. Oh, there we go, Battle of Lincoln. Yeah, King Stephen was captured, but he was had to be released because Matilda's brother was captured. She was one of his biggest supporters and helpers, so they had to be exchanged for each other. Used to execute prisoners in this place once upon a time. Lucy Tower, I think they used to keep prisoners in there once upon a time. As you can see, the two motts, one behind the other there. What a fantastic view of the countryside it would have been. Obviously you wouldn't have had the built up area that it is today. It's the cathedral, signalling the 1:15. So it's kind of taken us 15 minutes to walk from that side round to this side. Despite the fact that there's not a lot inside that's medieval, it's still quite impressive. I don't think that wall's original. Maybe just must be quite good for some people to have a mott in your garden. As long as you don't have to pay for the upkeep of it, that is. I think there used to be a wall separating the war walk here. Got graveyards inside here. Now they've cordoned it all off so you can't walk around it. Judging by the small holes in the walls, possibly a floor, but then that doorway wouldn't be right if it was. The doorway would be normally referred to as a postern gate. Don't know if this was also used as a dovecote at one point. That could be what the holes are for. But you can't go through there and walk on the outside. Yeah, you used to have to come up that way because you couldn't get in any other way. But obviously now that they've opened it all up, still quite an impressive structure. Police officers taking their afternoon stroll through the castle grounds. I think the castle grounds themselves are free to wander around. It's just the Magna Carta, or one of the 4 original copies. 2 are in the British Museum. 1 is in Salisbury Cathedral, and 1 is housed in there. The one in Salisbury, some idiotic person decided to try and steal it the other week. Although thankfully some people stopped him. You can see the second mott there. There's the other mott. It's obviously a working place, so there's still lots of traffic around. I think you can get to the top of that. Very loud, very high. All in all, very impressive place. I mean, I know, I personally, I get impressed by earthworks that are literally nothing. Quite interested in castles like this, but obviously even the little earthwork ones are well worth a visit, but you can't deny how impressive this is. I think if they were shooting their crossbows in them days, I think they would have been able to stand on a box to shoot out of there. It's a bit windier up here. Magnificent view of the cathedral. Obviously they're doing work to it. Last time I came here I went to look at the, I think it's the priory there. They were working on that. Very magnificent view of Lincoln. I think the Battle of Lincoln took place over there. I think it was north of the castle, which would have been over there. Oh, this isn't built for large people. Oh, here we go. This is what we like. Oh, midges everywhere. Yeah, I think the Battle of Lincoln was over there. the north of the castle. I think one of the gates... Oh, look at these midges, man. Well, flying ants, aren't they? I think one of the main gates was over there. Or the archways are over that direction. I think I can just pick one out. Oh, I'd like to stay up here longer, but these flying ant things are killing me. Oh, I had to get out of there pretty quick. Oh, the ants up there. Quite impressive view from it up there. Obviously there's the lift. Again, not good for people who don't like heights. Back at the entranceway. I think that's the wall walk. It's to the left of the gateway. Comes up to the wall. You can see the outside of the wall here. They do quite a few reenactment things inside here. You can see the signs of age there where the facing stones have started to come down. Oh, I didn't go in that tower. I think you can, can't you? I think it only goes down to the bottom, but... do you like the sounds of a gravel path? Possibly an old gate, little postern gate there that's been blocked up. Might be the one that's on the other side. There's the well. Pretty sure a castle this size would have had more than one well. Love the smell of freshly cut grass. There's an old well pump there by the look of it. I think that's the cathedral telling us that it's past. Bloke there, he's got a bit of a sprint on around the castle. I think this is the northern gate, because the other gate is facing south. Some of the old stonework. I think some of this stonework looks quite new. Fancy living down there and having that on the other side every day. Yeah, I think this is definitely new stonework. I think they have to make it look new as well, so that you can distinguish it between the old and the new. I think there would have been portcullis there, not that plasticky looking thing there that's fake. Would have come down to protect the doors. Drawbridge would have been brought up. See the damage on the walls there. Even as a rear gate, that's pretty impressive. You can look at the stonework there on the wall. I think it's called herringbone. It's quite sort of Romanesque. Weathering damage there to the arrow stone, but here on this wall here, that's major damage. A lot of the facing stones have fallen off, but you can see the difference between the sort of worked masonry stone. I mean, that's pretty shoddy. Some more herringbone there. This could be reused Roman stuff. But it's quite, you can see it's been sort of faced and flattened on one side to fit in there, compared to the rough infill on this. I mean, masons cost money, so you only want them to spend time putting facing stones on, and then you'd fill the rest up with all the shoddy crap and rubbish and bits of concrete and everything else that you can use. You're not going to spend lots and lots of gold on a paying masons when you don't have to. I think that's possibly why they've reused this. Here you can see some major collapse. People may have even tried to take it away and you reuse it, because obviously it may have even been reused in the old courthouse. Obviously people are not going to spend a fortune on making stone and having it made when they can just take it from somewhere else. But you can definitely see the difference between the outer stone, which makes the wall look flat, and what's inside, which is just bits of stone piled on top of each other. You can see that freestanding, obviously you couldn't walk around that bit once upon a time because all the walls had gone, but they've obviously made it accessible now. That's a beautiful thing to see, isn't it? Just some poppies in one little tiny place. Be okay when you're walking along it, but if you knew it was like that before you got on it. And obviously there's the mott. Although today it's got stone built on it. It would have been a daunting task to try and get up to the top of it. As this castle was built in about 1068, I think, by William the Conqueror, trying to subjugate the north of England. Even though he was the king, he still had a problem. Trying to control a country with a couple of million hostile Saxons around. You had to find a way of dealing with them, and that's why castles came around. That's the way you used to go in, very steep climb. Obviously those stones aren't original. Wouldn't have been like that back then. And there's that hanging wall walk again. Don't think this structure on the left would have been original. It's quite good that they've made the whole thing accessible now. Obviously they try and make their money back though. Here's the second motte, with the observatory tower on the top. We're coming round to the front entrance again. This is the remaining fragment of the Eleanor cross for Eleanor of Castile, wife of Edward I. There's only 3 almost surviving copies at Geddington, Northampton, although that's in a bad state of repair, and one at Charing Cross. But that's all that's left of the one that was in Lincoln. Slightly more modern gate, built in the 15th century, with a guild hall to replace an older gate, Roman gate. Looks a bit wonky. I think it's been restored in some ways. Now incorporates shops. And buildings above. One of the oldest houses in Lincoln, Jew's house. Just about to go back up the hill to the castle. You can see the cathedral. You can see how steep that hill is. You can see that the castle is built very, very high up on a hill. This building's almost at the top of what's known as Steep Hill. That's Norman House. Literally built just round near the castle. This is the side of Lincoln Cathedral. It's pretty magnificent. You can see the years of dirt on the side of it. Magnificent towers there. Costs an arm and a leg to get in, but we're going to go to the Bishop's Palace right here, which is free. Just going down to the Bishop's Palace. It was closed when I came here last time because it was being refurbished. Lincoln Medieval Bishop's Palace, which is just here behind these trees. Very, very old place, Lincoln. Bishop's Palace, this is the residence of the, would have been Bishop of Lincoln. Very rich, powerful people. Old gateway there. Obviously bits of it are still closed. This is one of the entrances to the Bishop's Palace. It's still closed for refurbishment. But there are bits that you can come in. It's a very old, solid door. Don't know what they're doing to it, but obviously needs conserving. Yeah, I think she's going to go and get a spanner. Yeah. It's the cathedral in the background. I think we can go up in that little tower. We always like a tower. Oh, we do like stairs. Stairs are going up clockwise. That looks blocked off, possibly. I think the idea of the stairways going this way is to help defenders. I think that idea is being debunked. There's plenty of castles with staircases going the other way. Roof access, but you can't get up there. Gateway into the Bishop's Palace. It's actually a double gateway. There's another gateway here. right next to the cathedral. Quite substantial, probably more for show than for defence. It says Priory Gate, right next to the cathedral. Again, I don't think it's for defence very much. Doesn't have a... although, yeah, I suppose it does have a walkway on the top. But it's right next to the cathedral. This is the East Gate, Roman Gate of Lincoln. Which is just to the east of the cathedral, funnily enough. This is Bailgate. One of the original town gates. There's a steampunk festival on for the bank holiday weekend. I think this was damaged a few years back when a lorry tried to go through it. That's an interesting sign, and I hope my Roman maths is right. I think MDCCCLXXVIII is 1378. The main gate of Lincoln Castle there. This is the outside. This is probably the easiest part of the castle to attack, because it's quite low here. It's an interesting little, possibly a doorway there. Wouldn't have been a window, that could have been a little postern type gate to get out. I could probably be naughty and jump up there and walk round, but we'll go around this way. There's a little bit of a cut through there. Well, although it's a bit lower this side, that's still a daunting task. You wouldn't... to get siege engines up here would be really difficult. You can see how the modern city is built up and right close by it. And there's that little outer gate there. As you can see, a very, very, very bright sunny day today. Cathedral in the background. Doesn't say you can't walk down there, but it might cause privacy issues looking at the back of people's houses. Here's the other corner of the building. The castle. That's the front gate there, or the rear gate. This is the secondary gatehouse, I'd call it, but the rear gatehouse. It's kind of facing north. See that herringbone pattern in the walls again. There's the other aspect of the castle taken from the rooftop of my beautiful car. I think that is Lincoln. Well, worth a visit.